Let's impose our identity. Make this our game on our terms.
Let's go. James, the crossover, pulled back, puts it up, puts it in. Here comes James, all alone.
You got a hot hand, just keep going to it.
Wade pulls up, puts it in. Wade from downtown. Allen, again for three.
That's not passion for myself, that's passion for my teammates.
A fantastic game for the Miami Heat today against the Indiana Pacers. Legs, this game was all Miami all the time from the get-go. Now, Lance Stephenson had some words about LeBron James prior to Game 4. Take a listen.
I think to me, I think it's a sign of weakness, because he never used to say nothing to me.
Now, Paul George, he had a response to that Stephenson comment. Look.
He's doing it to the wrong guy. He's barking up the wrong tree. I think, because LeBron is the same way. He feeds off that kind of energy.
Well, you think correct. Here's how LeBron responded in Game 4. Under 8 minutes left in the first, off the pick and roll, James over 3 defenders' legs.
A great job right there, splitting the trap, getting to the rim, no second-line defense right there, and this is a weak foul taken on a guy that you're going to have to hit a little bit harder than this to prevent him from getting the three-point play. You see LeBron right here obviously coming out, understanding the significance of this game, and now trying to take command of this series.
James finished with 15 points in the first half, and then he was also hot from downtown. 2 for 3. There's a tray there. Miami by 8. Later in the third, George's pass intercepted by Lewis, and he finds James for the jam. Big defensive play in this one as well, Lakes.
Yeah, this is a great situation right here. Lance Stephenson goes to the crossover. Great contest by the Miami Heat. They never let Lance Stephenson get going. Foul trouble took him out of his rhythm early. Never really had an impact in this game offensively. You see the frustration. Had a lot of talk, but didn't really back it up when the game started, and those fouls really hurt him.
Stephenson finishing with 5 fouls, and then it was all Chris Bosh. 3 of 5 from downtown, and Bosh just making it rain all over Hibbert, Legs.
Well, he really has struggled in this series to find open looks, and Miami came out early, establishing the fact that they knew he was going to get opportunities to get shots. He knocked down his first couple. It's a totally different night for a jump shooter when those first couple go down.
Bosh scored more points in the first quarter than he averaged in the first 3 games. There, slam it down over Luis Escola. Then another tray. He had 25 points in the game. Miami by 7. Third quarter now. West missing the jumper. James the rebound. And then Wade with the easy bucket.
Yeah, the scary thing right there, Dwayne, LeBron James, David West, about the same size and weight. And LeBron James is a sprinter up the floor here, takes advantage of the extra step to gather himself and knocks down a big 3.
Heat by 16 at that point, and then LeBron James just really showing that strength, scored 14 points in the third quarter. How about that, Jam?
That's just overpowering the Indiana Pacers, understanding the transition, no big bodies back there. He's going to put his head down and attack every time.
Fourth quarter's where we go. Heat up by 17. George losing his man, and then literally just quits on the play. Norris Cole wide open.
That's supposed to be a switch. There's a miscommunication right there. Paul George frustrated, but you have to continue to play and pursue. Norris Cole takes all the time in the world to line that one up, knocks down a 3. You see more again. Frustration out of David West on the bench.
Oh, that's why he gets fuzzy mouth. LeBron James, 32 points, 10 boards, 5 dimes. The bucket and 1 there. Miami Heat. They go on to win this one 102-90. LeBron James, I mentioned those 32, 10, and 5. LBJ's had at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 dimes in a playoff game for the 22nd time in his career. That the most such games by any player in NBA postseason history. As for Chris Bosh, he had a postseason high 25 points. Here's Bosh on how he got it going.
Sometimes it's all about simplifying everything and just getting back to the basics. And yeah, as a scorer, you always want to see your first shot go in, or the first couple of shots, or at least get some open looks, and try to, really change your luck a little bit. And, I was able to do that, and that helped me just be aggressive as the game went on. And, I kind of put the cerebral stuff to bed. So I'm really not thinking too much anymore and just going out and playing.
CB had been struggling offensively the last few games, and we needed that. We needed it from him. So, Spo called it, and I was able to, D-Wade was able to make the pass. I was able to slice over the top to kind of release the pressure from him, make Hibbert back up into the lane, and that got him his first shot. And, you know, that was the game plan for us. We've been talking about the last couple of days how we're going to get CB going. And, you know, it worked out for us tonight.
Chris has to do a lot of those things that people don't understand for our game to work, and he gets criticized for that. But he impacts the game in so many winning ways that the average eye doesn't necessarily see. But for him to make some shots and feel good about his game on that side of the floor certainly was nice.
Chris Bosh scored 25 points, his most this postseason and his most in any game against the Pacers since joining the Miami Heat. Now, Bosh was especially effective on jump shots, scoring nearly 3 times as many points on such shots as games 1 to 3. So Miami goes on to win it and goes up 3-1 in the series. Legs, what was your biggest takeaway from Chris Bosh's game today?
I think the fact that you're hearing Spoelstra and LeBron James address the fact that this was conscious amongst their team to get him shots to start of the game. You know defensively what Indiana's going to do. Their bigs tend to string out and try to contain ball penetration. If that's the case, there's no rotation man back to the screener. And that's why Chris Bosh, you know at the start of the game, if you run certain sets, he's going to get looks. Roy Hibbert, you know, this is not a bad contest for a 7-foot player out on the floor. But this one here, look at all the space all the time. And once you get a couple shots to go early in the game, it's just a totally different night for a jump shooter. He found himself in a nice rhythm. His teammates made sure to get the basketball, and then he became more aggressive going to the rim as well. He wasn't just a jump shooter. He also got to the foul line 10 times. There you see with a nice rub cut at the top of the screen, top of the key rather, catches the ball, gets all the way to the rim. So I just thought his mentality and approach at the start of the game was something that this team needed. I don't think the Heat were going to win this series unless Chris Bosh started to make his impact felt offensively and put his stamp on it. They were committed to do it, and he made the shots when he got them at the start of the game, and it really changed the tone of this game. One of the most impressive things on this stat sheet right here, lead changes, 0. Miami jumped them from the start, and Chris Bosh was a big reason for that.
Now, there was a lot of talk prior to the game. On the other side of the coin, Lance Stevenson did not have a good game in this one. Had gotten through some foul trouble. Here he is after the game on his approach to the contest.
Try to play ball. Try to get into his head, but I guess he stepped up and I got the win. So I could take the heat. I could take the fire.
You know, Lance is young. That's a teaching point. You know, that's a learning lesson for him. I mean, sometimes you just got to watch what you say.
They did a good job of getting me in foul trouble. You know, I just never got a rhythm after that.
Just because of what was said and what was done. It just wasn't a good time for him.
We got outplayed by the Heat. I wasn't disappointed in our fight. I was disappointed in the result.
It's just demoralizing when the game is lopsided. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but that was the case. You know, again, you know, how rare is it we shoot 50%, turn the ball over around 13 or so times, out-rebound the team, and, you know, and lose a ball game.
We played better probably tonight than we had, you know, in the first 3 games defensively, so but we got to just keep getting better.
You know, looking at the stat sheet, we outplayed them. You know, you got to give them credit. I mean, you know, they won this game at the free throw line.
So Indiana could not get it going all night in this loss to the Miami Heat. What was the main reason that Indiana just had no rhythm?
Well, I think when you look at these two teams, there's a big difference in their maturity level and their discipline in making the right play. And Indiana understands when you attack Miami, they're very aggressive with their traps and their speed out on the floor. So that first pass out of the trap has to go to the right place. And when they execute, you see the quality shot they get. David West, the flash, first pass goes to the right place. In this situation, George Hill has to get this ball back to Luis Scola. There's no one on that side of the floor. Instead, he takes it to the strong side. Look how crowded it is. You end up with C.J. Watson struggling in the corner, throws a cross-court pass out of bounds. So the Indiana Pacers, to me, just not a team that's committed enough to doing the disciplined things you have to do when you attack a team like Miami. They're going to extend a lot of energy with their bigs all the way out in their half court trying to trap pick-and-roll ball handlers. So the first pass that comes out goes to the open player. Now you're playing 4-on-3 basketball. And when they do that, they get quality shots. They just don't do it every time. And I think that's where you see maybe the effects of not having that big-time playmaker. LeBron James runs everything for Miami. the Pacers don't really have that guy. George Hill's not really a creator offensively, and it hurts them at times like this. They had an opportunity, I think, to be up at halftime instead of down 5. They lost some opportunities in how they attacked Miami defensively, and as a result, third quarter starts, and then LeBron James gets going and puts this thing away.
You mentioned LeBron James, 32 points, 10 boards, 5 dimes, 22nd time he's done that in the playoffs in his career. Your take from his phenomenal play today?
Well, one of the things about LeBron that I've really grown to admire is the fact that he senses when it's time to put his foot on somebody, and that's what he did in the third quarter, and he did it in a variety of ways. Did a catch and shoot late in the shot clock, hits the 3, demoralizing for a defense when you're able to do that. I like this one. Defensive rebound. He immediately realizes both bigs for Indiana are behind him. His head is up. His first dribble's cautious to see what's back there. Then once he realizes it's 3 wing players in the open floor, he puts his head down and takes it all the way to the rim and uses that speed and strength to finish it off. His third quarter was the difference in this game. He separated it. Indiana was back on their heels, never really made a legitimate run after that, and Miami controls from wire to wire. LeBron James, Bosh started it, LeBron James ended it.